I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, June the 26th. This is your last big Monday of regular business before we get into the holiday week next week, going into 4th of July. And with it landing on a Tuesday, it's really going to mess things up for the whole week there. But still some time to get some business done. Temperatures have cooled off a little bit here over this last weekend and are supposed to stay a little bit moderate till we get here later on into the week. And guys might step to the table and want to go ahead and fill some of those orders, especially on your yearling cattle, on some bunches of yearlings there, to get those before pretty much everybody shuts down over the 4th. Your southeast will be completely shut down. They shut down 2 weeks a year between Christmas and New Year's and 4th of July. Your other sales, there might be a special sale here and there, but for the most part we won't have anything going on next week. But you look at the board for last week on your August contracts, both live and feeder cattle futures. Your live cattle into the week at 115.27, down 290 for the week, which is nothing compared to what the cash went down. Feeder cattle contracts for August into the week at 144.95, down 292 for the week, which is a lot less than what cash feeders went down also. Your June live cattle spot market, which is got to come together here real quick, went from running a $8 to $12 basis here for the last couple 3 months to all of a sudden going to a negative basis because the cash fat market was so much sharply lower this last week. But June live cattle contracts ended the week at 119.20, down $2.50 for the week. But your fats late in the week, you saw your live prices just progressively lower, and your last sales late in the week were at 118. The bulk of last week's trade compared to the previous week was a full $9 to $10 lower. That's 20 bucks in the last 2 weeks we've lost on live cattle negotiated fat cattle sales. But you look at your dress market late in the week was 190. On a bulk trade there, your dress market was down $12 from the previous week, so we've lost a ton of ground there. Box beef cutout values sharply lower late last week there, but you look at your average trades for last week, and they are starting to close that spread a little bit as your choice has been down harder than select. But choice carcasses on the average of last week's trade, 244.90, down 5.96 for the week, and selects 218.76, down 208 for the week. Your real-time index into the week last week at 143.43, only down 46 cents, but we're just seeing such light runs in the sales right now. That pool is getting real shallow on the CME index too, but we still see some trades up in the northern plains that surprise us and are higher than even what the market was before this fat cattle started to drop. But your demand for true yearlings in the summertime is always good. It has continued to be good where you could buy loads of them. It should continue to be good and maybe even pick up a little bit here in another couple 3 weeks when we start seeing some double stock cattle come off of those pastures up in the through the Midwest there. And because most of the yearlings we've been selling, they might be off grass, but they've had some supplemental feeding, and a lot of them have been backgrounded fed. But you'll have some true green yearlings coming off here when we get into July. But your cash prices for last week were down $3 to $8 on yearlings and $5 to $10 on calves, because the calves are really not finding much demand, but luckily there's not many of them moving right now. Most of them are still out with their mamas or in some kind of a growing yard right now. But you look late in the week last week there, a market that's not crazy like some of those like Valentine, Nebraska and some of them, but just on the high end of what was going on. You look at some yearling prices there in Lexington, Nebraska, which is there in the center part of the state, 124 head string of steers right there at 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, weighed 896 at 150-185. And if you look at the average on all those 800 to 1,000 pound steers, at 873 of them weighed on the average 911 pounds at 148.24. That's your feeder flash for Monday.